They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.
Well, here we are.
Hey.
Howdy, fellers. Corey's got the dates up behind him. That hits, as always. Let's let y'all know we're going back out on the road. If you didn't know already, you should have by now, but we're starting July 23rd and 24th in Birmingham, Alabama. We're very excited. A lot of other dates getting added all the time. The next one after that just got added like very recently. That's August 19th and through the 21st in Denver, Colorado. Looking very forward to that. So, yeah, adding stuff all the time. Look for your city. We're sorry that things have been changing and whatnot, but again, it's like
logistical nightmare
out there. It's y'all got to keep in mind that like literally everyone is like going back on the road
for the now, at the same time
and through the fall, and so like and venues, a lot of them have been closed this whole time and are having to reopen, and it's like, I mean, it's a mess, but like not in a everybody's happy to be doing
so
it.
happy.
I'm just letting y'all know, like, just have please have some patience if shit like that happens, because it's a lot of lunacy.
Also,
wrangle all that.
If you go to WellREDComedy.com, WELLRED comedy.com, and you don't see your city, that does not mean that we're not coming there. On my Twitter, I shared a whole Google Doc worth of cities that we're working on contracts and booking for. And hey, if you don't see your city on there, that still don't mean we ain't working on something for it.
Yeah.
There's only so many weeks left in the year, and there's so many cities, and yada yada yada. But and I'll tell you this, I just looked today because I was curious. That September show for Atlanta is almost sold out right now, and it's in September. Now, I'm not, who knows? I'm not saying this 100% will happen, but there'll probably be a second show added to that, and I'm pretty pumped. So go sign up for the newsletter at wellredcomedy.com, and you will be the first person to find out about it. Sincerely, I've said this before jokingly, but it's true. You'll find out before my ass does. I guarantee you'll find out where we're going to be before I do. If you just go to that newsletter, and yeah, man, selling out Atlanta, that makes me heart tingle and my butthole do something, vibrate. There you go.
And if you want to see a picture of that, look really closely on the Google Doc Corey Drive. It's in the bottom right corner. He accidentally left it in there, and there's also his credit card number, all of that. So go find that. No, I'm just.
Oh God,
I don't even know what Google Drive document you're talking about. So I'm sitting there, I'm going, I wonder what that's from, and
it was a screenshot.
It from. Okay, good.
It was a screenshot, but dude, you just made me work, because I've done such stupid shit like that before. Like I'll take a selfie in like some, like a mirror in a hotel, like, what up, y'all? We're in, and somebody's like, the first thing is like, dude, I can see your whole credit card.
Do you guys know who Pop Smoke is?
The rapper?
He's a young rapper. Yeah, I love him. The way he got killed was he posted something that had his address on, and he got robbed that night.
And murdered?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Don't hit.
No.
And it was only up to like 20 minutes is what as I recall. It was just screenshots,
Well, that ain't it at
all.
all.
Now I'm even more terrified.
Well, he got robbed because he put up pictures of like the Cartier diamonds he bought that day.
Right.
Which is not to say
but he a rapper.
I just mean,
right,
it ain't gonna happen to you, Corey, unless that's what you're putting up,
No, I mean, I hear you, but there's plenty of people who still would just like to murder me without taking my things. You know what I mean? Right. Like the things would just be gravy. They literally would be gravy.
But Trey's
all there is gravy here.
But Trey's great line about whether or not we get hecklers is, no, they can call us queers on the internet for free. They don't have to pay $25 for a ticket. Right. I think the motivation for his murder was not hate; it was greed.
Right. And that's and what Trey said is very much true. And another thing that God, we used to always talk about this is what I'm so excited to be going back on tour. But now that we started posting dates, I've started getting flashbacks about the little tiny things that I hated so much about how society be. And one of them is like, I can't tell you how many comments I've gotten on posting dates of people who were just like, y'all are actually going to tour the South? Oh my God. Blah, blah, yeah, we'll try that line. Like, don't go to Texas. Y'all might get shot by a rodeo clown. And I'm having to, and like, I am responding to these because I think it's important. I'm just like, hey guys, literally our best shows have, and probably always will be in the South. And they just don't believe it. And it's just so frustrating that like 5 years into this touring endeavor, people are still like, I can't believe you're going to do North Carolina. Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't think about how you going viral. We get to relive some of the new viral magic, but we also have to relive a lot of the same bullshit.
So much of the bullshit, and then like, yeah, and I guess they're just trying to be funny, and they don't know that I've seen that 1,000 times, so it's not real. But like, Jesus, dude, I just don't see how people's brains work. But yes, we're going to be touring the South. Hell, the first several dates are in the South, and I can't fucking wait.
There's kind of two different things, right? And I'm opposed very much to both of them, but one of them I think is sillier than the other one, which is that like, because I mean, Alabama, I'm sure they got all kinds of horrific laws, but they haven't been one of the ones lately that are being like boycotted by liberals, right? Like
I feel like they've just been boycotted in perpetuity.
For sure. Right.
Well,
but I'm
the
saying
documentary industry cannot boycott them. They wouldn't have anything to make.
Right. Right.
But like Georgia, like sometimes with a liberal saying some shit like that, it's a boycotty type question.
Right. Yeah, that's true too.
Be surprised by that stance, considering we're liberals from the South. Like, of course we don't.
See, froze for you, Drew.
But then there's also the just more general, like, wow, you guys are liberals and you tour through the South type of thing, which we also get a lot of. And that one is like even funnier to me because it's like there's clearly no real, you're not actually thinking through that question whatsoever, because is your assumption that 400, 500, whatever hardcore Republican rednecks are like fucking gussying up in their best cowboy boots and fucking paying $50 for them and their old lady to have and getting a babysitter to come see our queer asses?
It makes no sense.
I mean? Like they're not there. Like, of course they're not there. So why would it be a problem? And it's also part of that's like that still lingering mentality of like, well, who does come then? You know?
Yeah.
Because you're in Alabama. So there's no one else in Alabama other than those guys.
It's almost like we don't know what your whole deal is.
Right. Yeah. Right. So it's never made sense in a humorous but also kind of annoying way. If you're one of these people and you listen to this, we still love you. It's just,
I don't think anybody listening to this, like, unless this is their first episode.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, if this is their first episode, that's very possible. But like, if you've been here for a while, you probably have the same annoyance that we do with that type of shit, because it's never a Southerner that says that.
No, of course not.
You know what I mean? Because they know they
wouldn't have a show to go to. Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And also, like you pointed out before, like Bill Maher sells out huge theaters in Alabama. Like what, and he don't even have the luxury of like also being a Southerner,
right?
Like Trojan horsing his ass in there,
Yeah.
But
and it's funny because like he's like, we're not getting into a whole fucking Bill Maher thing.
Of course not. That's not what I intended.
But like on that particular subject, and this is an objective fact, I bet you could find a lot of clips from his shows of him doing this. Like what you just said, he also has said that himself,
right?
But he still gets the same shit. He still gets that same shit after years and years of that, even though he has publicly said the same thing a million times,
right?
And it doesn't matter. Like it's still surprising to people every time, or whatever.
It's just that it's a symptom of the people needing so desperately for the South to be the one and only shitty place so that they can absolve themselves of ever having to work on anything in their community when they live in Oregon or California or Seattle, the Washington area. They're like, oh no, it's just there. And that's all. I mean, that's all that is. And I get it. I sort of wish we had something to download all our bullshit on, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, baby.
I don't either.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we could. There are people in the South who do have groups that can download their entire bullshit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's sort of like we're against that. That's kind of the point. Don't do that.
Right.
Except we
we be doing that.
These people, but in reverse. We kind of get down with sometimes. Meaning like coastal, the whole. It's like It's literally. I mean, it. We've talked about this before, and it's also obvious, but it's literally the exact same thing, but in reverse. You know what I mean? Where it's like they think, Meemaw thinks you're gonna get fucked in your butt and also stabbed to death in California. Do you know what I mean?
That's my favorite Toby Keith song.
Yeah. That the order of that really matters a lot, you know.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah. Changes the
Oh,
whole
speaking
tenor
of,
the crime.
shout out Freaky Tiki. Bobby sent me and DJ some of these shirts.
Oh,
We're going
that's
to give them
cool.
away at our, we're doing a charity show in Grayson, Kentucky. You can check out all the details on my Twitter, but I just wanted to say thank you for this shirt. I love it. I said it looked like a gay buffalo. I don't know if they like that or not, but it does to me.
The buffaloes?
Bobby's a they. Bobby's a they.
Oh, okay.
It's like buffaloes were pissed. I don't know if you've met any of them, but
I don't
they
know,
hate
man.
the gays. That's why they stay in Colorado.
Football's gay now, boys.
Yeah.
Pretty excited.
I didn't watch that. The thing you're talking about. The NFL
I didn't
put
watch
out
it either. And
Okay.
I didn't watch it either. But I've been enjoying from both sides everything that's been going on.
the fucking NFL, like
The audacity.
Yeah, right. And they stay doing that. Like,
Yeah.
of course, it's like all that pink shit they have for breast cancer awareness. Of course, nobody's pro breast cancer, but like,
Of course, right.
that's so they can sell pink jerseys.
Of course,
right?
yeah,
Like that's the only reason they do. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about anything. And it's the same thing with them being gay now. They try Carl Nassib. So, all right. People, longtime listeners know that because growing up, my older first cousin was a drug addict and a felon. He was a huge Raiders fan. So I am also a Raiders fan, in addition to loving the Titans. But
and you're queer, so this works out a lot.
Right. Yeah, checking a lot of boxes. This story does for me. Carl Nassib is a defensive end for the Raiders, and he came out as gay, and he got almost universal support, which I think even 5 years ago, asked Michael Sam, even 5 years wouldn't have been the same deal. So that's great. That's awesome. Then his jersey became the number one selling jersey in the NFL for like a week straight or something like that, because a lot of gay people were buying it and everything because, you know, he's their guy or whatever.
Right.
And I'm just saying,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I'm saying then the NFL after that comes out with football is gay now. Think like, dude, it's so they can start selling fucking rainbow NFL gear or whatever. Like they don't give a fuck.
Of course they don't.
It's better than them.
Right.
This is that thing we've talked about
Nike with
so
Cap.
many times.
Yeah.
It's like these corporations are full of shit, but like it's better than them like being the opposite.
Right. Where they're like, oh, we better not touch
whatever.
this one.
So like, what do you do?
Because that is what they used to. They would have been like, this is too polarizing of a thing for us to touch. But now they're like, hey, we assume bottom line wise that the world is actually becoming a more decent place and we can profit from this, which again is sickening, but it's sickening it's erring in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a symptom of progress.
Right.
What is so frustrating is when people start trying to get the symptoms of progress to happen instead of actual progress. Case in point, this Toyota stuff. It's like, we're going to boycott Toyota because Toyota has donated money to the senators who won't certify the election. And it's like, obviously, I don't want Toyota to do that, but Toyota doing that is just what corporations do.
Okay, I was about to ask the question. This is the question I've had in my head ever since I first saw that was going on. Because it's like a total of $55,000 to like whatever 30 different Congress people.
I think it was an average.
An average.
Am I wrong?
Either way, a corporation that large. I'm just saying, my first thought when I saw it was, and maybe this isn't true, but I was like, is that not like totally standard for them? Like for any corporation did they not also donate to like some Democratic campaigns or whatever? Because like they're a huge corporation. I just assume
they did.
They literally grease all the wheels they can.
Do.
And don't they all do that all the time? So what makes Toyota any fucking different?
They were number one so there were, I think, 6 senators who did not vote to certify the election, which is on its face not agreeing with democracy being legitimate, you know? And so of those 6, they looked at who donated as far as corporations go. I think Toyota averaged the highest amount. I think it was a $55K average. But like the other ones were 20K, you know what I mean? AT&T was on it. You know, you throw your cell phone out the window, put it in your Toyota and run it off a cliff, I guess.
Yeah.
My only point with that is not that you should be for Toyota doing that.
Of course not.
Pining for Toyota to do better, quote unquote, is just cheering for a symptom. You know, cheering for Nike, saying we like Kaepernick is cheering for a symptom. The progress will come, and then those assholes will have to follow. But I don't know. Being mad about it. I could have just
looked any of this up, and I of course haven't done it.
Yeah, why would we?
Right, but like, Is it a thing where the Congress people in question also happen to be in districts or states or whatever where Toyota has some kind of vested interest in their operations or something like that? So you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's correlation, it's not causation. It has nothing to do with how they feel about those events. It's because they need them for something else, for geographical reasons or something like that. You know, like
I know you mean like, is it Detroit or a place Toyota has a plant or whatever? But Toyota's big enough that any district would probably, arguably, Toyota have a vested interest. But I can say this with 100% sureness: it had nothing to do with the election.
Right.
It had nothing to do, like, which is a lot of people's point, is like, you don't even look into it. You don't care. That is true. We should hate that, but we're picking and choosing when to cheer and clap. You know, Nike did good. Nike did horrible. Nike has also bought, you know, legislation and legislators in order to not pay their workers fair wages or continue to use, you know, Chinese children to make their shoes. It's just,
it's not possible.
They're the enemy, bro.
Right? Like, being truly moral or ethical in that way is not possible in a society as consumerist as ours is.
Of course not. Of course not, dude. And also,
the biggest
like,
hippy dippy motherfucker out there probably has an iPhone, and
of course, because that's all everybody has.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And even if he don't, it's not like the people that made his Android are good people either. And also, like, for the most part, like, if you really are someone who's like, you know what, God damn it, I'm not going to use anything from any corporation ever. I'm going to go strictly mom and pop, and I'm going to go strictly organic and blah, blah, blah. Some motherfuckers literally can't afford to do that shit. Like, some people, like, not only need the luxury and the convenience of a Walmart, but, like, that's the prices they can afford.
Even if
you know what I'm saying?
That, unless you're buying it from, like, literal primary source artisans or something who make it in their shed, whatever that is, you're still going to run into, like, these same supply chain factors. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to food or whatever, it's like, you know, I don't fuck with ChickfilA, but it's easy for the record, I never liked them. But if I get a chicken sandwich from somewhere else, I guarantee you they do some fucked up shit to them chickens. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, well, it's always something. Always.
Yeah, I want to say, first of all, you guys are really hitting for me. But I want to parse something out too. There's a huge difference. You guys are talking about the inability for us to consume things completely ethically. That's 100% true. It is impossible. But I don't want anyone to think, you guys or anyone listening, that I or we are trying to let Toyota off the hook.
No.
My point is simply that the ability for corporations to buy legislation, to donate this amount of money, is the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. The fact that they can do that and control, you know, it's like, oh, you didn't buy the right senator. No, we're playing the wrong game if we're standing up going, buy the 100%. Right senator. Well, let's 100%. Stop it from buying the senators.
Yeah. Well, that's true too. And I don't give a fuck, dude. Here's the thing: you ain't wrong if you boycott them. That's fine, dude. That's awesome. Like, you're totally allowed to do that. Everybody that boycotted Chick-fil-A, they're totally allowed to do that. That's fine. My problem comes with, like, I know there's going to be some people just start screaming at people in a Tundra right now, you know, just, God damn it, how can you realize what you're driving? Because I've seen like several people in my timeline that were like, I'm selling my Tacoma and getting a blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but you already got it. You don't have to go through all that.
And the turning ratio on a Tundra is real tight. I don't recommend screaming at one from very close. They will run you over.
You know what else is funny about that?
Toyota's about to sell so many trucks too, is really what it's boiled down to.
And I was about to say,
what Chick-fil-A did.
This like ended a long time ago, but that's exactly what I was about to bring up. I don't know that it ended, but it's funny also to think about, like, it's liberals now are pissed off at Toyota and boycotting them, when, like, for so long it was the exact opposite. Where it was like, you know, the fucking rednecks of the world was like, you know, buy American, fuck them Japanese cars. Don't you really gonna drive a Japanese piece of shit? Support this guy. Like, you know, fucking, that was a huge thing. That the hatred for the Japanese auto.
The NFL is gay and the Prius is American. This is a fucking amazing thing.
That's fucking wild to think about.
Yeah.
Culture wars, man.
But again,
corporations always win the culture wars. That's the lesson.
Back to the NFL thing, just for briefly a minute. The reason that I can get behind it, even though it is all just like fucking completely shallow or whatever, this is one of them where it's like, well, it's pissing off the right people too. So I can't wait to sit back. Like, I hope all the fucking teams start wearing rainbow uniforms, just because of how hilarious, you know, Parlor will be.
Yeah, well, I agree with that completely. I just, like, the NFL, like, I'm a huge professional football fan.
Me too.
Have been for years, but the NFL as an organization has always just really pissed me off.
Yeah, they don't hit,
you know, and it's like, that's, you know, fairly
the irony
of me, because I hate them, but I watch the shit out of their product.
Well, they're the only ones that do it. What are you going to
Well,
do?
I know.
The
Yeah.
the irony there is a lot of the real hardcore culture warrior right wingers already wrote the NFL off.
Right.
Because
yeah.
even though they got rid of Kaepernick, they didn't get rid of dang, I'm forgetting his name.
Kneeling.
Tim Tebow?
Well, kneeling. There was the one main guy, the safety, who was early on with Cap. See, culture war. One guy got famous, the other did. There was a guy who was kneeling at the same time as Kaepernick, who stayed in the
Lynch
league.
was sitting
Marshawn
down
was-
that whole
yeah.
time, and no one ever gave a shit.
Right.
Because he hit too
was
hard.
a rat, I guess.
Well, I know
He hit
that
too
like
hard.
some of my in-laws and a lot of people stopped watching the NFL already, and they brought up they were reading the transcript of that commercial in front of me, and I was trying to remain quiet because I just wanted, I feel like an observer. You know what I mean? What was your joke? I was trying to Jane Goodall him a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, let's see, but it became very clear as they read it that they would read a line and look. They were waiting on me to react, so I was like, yeah, I don't. If you guys think we want that, we don't. Nobody wants this.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law was like, I want to know what happened in the room where that was pitched, and some guy's job was to approve or disapprove it. And he was like, yeah, let's go with that. I don't know y'all's theory. My theory is it was an old dude in a suit who literally was like, this is what gay people want, right? So yeah. Run that. Like, just good. That's what they want. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's that much thought.
I'm saying I think they view it as like a brand new untapped market.
Right.
The gay market.
And this is how you do
based on those jersey sales and everything they saw, and they had dollar signs in their eyes, and now here we are.
Sure.
I'm such a cynic where the NFL is concerned. That's just my
but you should be.
You're right. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is it's hilarious that that's what they came up with.
Yeah.
Like, and they're right. Is what I'm saying is that is an untapped market. Liberals we are just as prone to wear jerseys and cheer for the right team and blah, blah, blah. So
Smear the
I'm
queer
saying-
is back. That
that was the other comment. That was the other comment that was made. I don't know what I was going to say. They're doing it wrong. There's
ADD.
absolutely a market for, gay NFL fans. The NFL's right about that. This was a bad way to do it. They could have done a better way.
Yeah. I mean, and there's two ways too. It's like part of me is like, just don't say shit and just be like, yeah, cool. This happened. He's gay. We don't care. But then I'm like, I don't know. It is a big deal. There is like sort of a line. Like, you want to acknowledge it so that everybody knows, like, hey, before this, no one was comfortable coming out. Like, please don't think for a second that he's the first gay NFL player. You know what I mean? He's the first dude that was like, society has finally come to a point where I feel like I can say this and nobody's going to fucking choke me out in the locker room, and everybody's going to look the other way.
Just so people know that don't follow the NFL, because he was not a star before this or a well-known name. Carl Nassib's been in the league for he's not a rookie. He's been in the league for like 6 years, 7 years, something like that. My point being, like, it took him a while too, is what I'm saying. Like you're saying, like, first of all, we know for a fact there were gay players in the NFL. There's been people that came out after the fact, so we know that they existed. Of course, statistically, of course, they existed. But I'm saying Carl Nassib, he wasn't comfortable doing it necessarily when he was first coming up, 5-6 years ago or whatever. But now he is.
Do you think he's going to have locker room problems?
I mean, I hope not. Everybody that said anything about it on the Raiders, John Gruden, Mark Davis, and everybody's said all the right things. I'm sure there's some dumbasses on the Raiders not saying much. Richie Incognito's on the Raiders. He was the one.
No way.
Yeah,
my buddy
but
Robbie said he gives 50-1 odds that him and Richie Incognito end up getting married.
Yeah, Richie Incognito. This is getting too in the weeds, but Richie Incognito, since he did all that wild, for people who don't know,
he was in Florida.
He was like bullying and stuff, and it was homophobic bullying, calling people fags and stuff like that. Like,
he
hardcore. He did a lot crazier shit than that. His dad died, and he broke in his dad's funeral and was trying to cut his dad's head off to save as a souvenir because he was in so much grief or whatever, something like that. He was a wild man, a lunatic.
Yeah,
Richie Incognito. So naturally Raiders had to get him. They're like, we got. But hey, he's a real good ball player. He's a hell of a guard.
Can he play? God damn it!
And I know it's like it's such a fan comment.
Richie, that linebacker's got your dad's skull. Go get it.
It's true, and I mean this from a different perspective, from a mental health perspective. Richie Incognito was forced to start taking therapy all those years ago when all that shit happened. And since he got into therapy, Richie Incognito has been a model citizen and hasn't done any of that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's a testament to the efficacy of therapy. So I don't think he will fuck with Carl Nassib, although he probably would have. 5 or 6 years ago. I also want to say, and then I'll shut the fuck up about the Raiders, because Carl Nassib, he was on the Browns and then the Bucks. He could be on any team, and all of this still would have happened. Still, I just want to say, because we have nothing else to brag about, the Raiders suck so much, that the Raiders historically are arguably the most progressive organization in the NFL, and that goes back like 50 years. They had the first Hispanic quarterback, first Hispanic coach, first black head coach, first female front office executive. The CEO of the Raiders was a woman for years and years, Amy Trask, and now the first openly active gay player. They got a long track record.
Black punter too. You don't ever see that?
They had that. That's
You
right.
don't see
Al
that?
Davis was a
They
wild
also
motherfucker,
give
but he
people who
was
want to
super
cut their dad's
progressive.
heads off second chances.
That's right. Yeah. See, dude, they're good people. You know what else good people? The people at Freshly. That's right.
Agreed.
Listen up. If you stressed, you tired, you don't feel like cooking, happens to us all.
Hmm.
But food that's fast doesn't have to be fast food. Freshly offers quality meals without the hard work of prepping, cooking, and cleaning. None of that shit. Freshly offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals delivered fresh to your door. No cooking required. Grocery shopping and cooking can be a pain, especially right now. And with Freshly, you don't have to do it. Your meals arrive cooked and fresh every week, so you keep your fridge stocked and skip the trip to the store. Ordering is easy. Go to freshly.com and choose from over 30 delicious, satisfying, better for you meals like steak, peppercorn, sausage, baked penne, or their chicken pesto bowl, all of which hit. Freshly can fit your lifestyle with a variety of plans and meals to pick from that work for your dietary needs, preferences, taste, and family size. And now our listeners could try Freshly for just $6.16 per meal. Hot damn.
Woo.
Yeah. Prices like that, you can't afford not to try Freshly, Cho. I mean, literally now, like a Big Mac or something with French fries, it's like $8, $9. You know,
Absolutely.
Freshly got real food for $6.16. You can't beat it. Stop searching the internet for healthy food near me every night and start living life freshly. Your meals are always delivered fresh, never frozen, ready to heat and enjoy in just 3 minutes time. With new meals added each and every week, Freshly brings the convenience of chef-made, nutritionist designed classics right to your kitchen. So right now, Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/wellred. That's WellRED. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/wellred for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's freshly.com/wellred for $40 off your first 2 orders. We thank Freshly for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah,
That's a really good deal.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
great
do
deal.
that.
You should. That's a great deal. You should go to freshly.com on your mobile phone, where you have sweet service from Mint Mobile. After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by these big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month, I thought, okay, what's the catch? But then after speaking with them, using their service, it all made sense. There ain't no catch. What's the deal with not having a catch? Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that Drew, your sauce, man, is that the first
I'm a big
company
sauce man.
loves it to sell wireless service online only. So by cutting out the retail stores, there's no crazy overhead cost that gets passed down to you in the form of mystery fees, the rust proofing of the mobile phone industry. Mint just passes on those sweet savings to you. You know, your boys got it. I've compared it to one of the big wireless people. It works just as good, if not better, in some places. So I'm a Mint Mobile mark for life. For people just looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month, or 3 cups of coffee, or you know what? Y'all know how much $15 is. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. If you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Switch to Mint Mobile, get their premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free. Free free. Go to mintmobile.com/wellred. That's mintmobile.com/wellred. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/wellred. Thank you, Mint Mobile, for sponsoring the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mint Mobile. And thank you, Corey. Great job reading that copy. I guess it's now my turn. And guys, I'm going to talk to you yet again about my new Helix mattress. If you've been keeping up with the podcast, you know that I've been spending a lot of time in Nashville and I needed a mattress there. I had them send it to me, and Andy is furious because I'm sleeping better than I ever have. And she didn't get to experience it until recently, Cho. She came to Nashville and I had her in there and we had a little bit of break in the middle of the day. And I was like, hey, let's go take a nap. But you know what I was trying to do. We're sponsored by Blue Chew as well. So I got her in there and I was all excited and the air conditioner was on. Everything was perfect. And then I look over, just like I'm untying my shoe. She's asleep. That's how good the Helix mattress is. Helix mattress, best mattress I've ever had. Go to helix.com/wellred right now. Here's how it works. You will take a quiz. Unlike most online mattress companies that make you tell them, oh, I want hard, firm, soft. They will just ask you a series of questions. It takes like 2 minutes, and then they will tell you what type of mattress suits you best. And it works. It's worked for me. It's working for Andy. I'm having the best sleep of my life. I miss naps, but I don't need them anymore because I can sleep through the night. It's phenomenal. Helix mattresses are great. It's simple. It's easy. And if you go to helix.com/wellred, you will get $200 off your order and 2 free pillows. How cool is that? It's pretty cool, Cho. 2 free pillows. I'm gonna be honest. They didn't send me pillows. Cool. You'll be doing better than me.
That's insanely cool. That's a basically you get $200 off plus free pillow fights after a tremendous nap or tremendous sleep. And guys, let me tell you something right now. If it can make Drew Morgan pleased to go to sleep, then it is really, really something.
This is something.
Hits.
And if you're wondering, I should add, they got hard, firm, soft. They got all that. All the standard stuff you look for.
All right. We've been sort of, we've been talking about the issues and stuff, which hits, but I mean, I've got some silly shit I wouldn't mind bringing up if y'all want.
Okay.
Yeah. My phone's dying. I got to plug it in. So I just want to apologize to everyone if my sound sounds different. I got to unplug these headphones.
Yeah, do your thing, buddy.
Baby Cho.
Yes, Trey.
Big wrestling guy, Buttercream Dream. I know you told me before that there's a huge wrestling culture and everything in Japan. Yep. Like, do you know a lot about that? Because if you do, I want to ask you about something.
I don't know a shit ton about. I mean, I definitely know more than the average person. And I've watched some New Japan stuff, and I do know that it can get pretty wild. Like, there's so many people like they'll see like an American match now and they're like, man, there's too much silly stuff going on now.
Yeah.
And, it used to be I'm like, man, I hear you. Don't get me wrong. But because most of the silly stuff in America, here's where it comes from. Dudes that worked in Japan for 5 years and then came back to America and like, this is what we were doing over there. Because there is some just straight up fucking motherfucker, what?
I saw a clip on Reddit. I sent it to the thread with us and Smart Mark.
I didn't look at it.
You were asleep. Okay. I
didn't see it either.
I've never seen any Japanese pro wrestling before this. And it was a clip free of context. It's like 2 minutes long, but I was like, I want to ask Cho about that. Cause first of all, I've said before about Japan, I do not mean this in a negative way at all. In fact, I admire it. They wild. They're very wild. They streets ahead in Japan when it comes to wildness. They really push the envelope. And so this clip of Japanese pro wrestling, it could have been 20 years. I don't know how recent it is. I don't know what was going on, but there were 2 wrestlers in the ring going at it. And then Ronald McDonald runs out.
Okay.
And gets in the ring and starts essentially sexually assaulting everybody. And he starts he puts his mouth on one dude's junk and is like waterboating his balls or whatever. And the guy's like, what? And he's like grabbing the other wrestlers' dicks and like jerking on them and stuff like that, and putting his butt up against when he'll go into the ropes and come back and he'll just spin around and put his butt up against their dick and stuff like that. And they're all like, what the fuck? Whatever. Yeah. Nobody knows how to handle Ronald McDonald's sexual advances.
It does.
And I mean, it was very funny, and I surely was entertained for that 2-minute period. But I was just
Trey,
wondering,
is the bit oh, we don't get the gay on us, and then he was like, I'll get the gay all over you, or was the bit more like, well, like you said, just a straight up sexual assault situation?
It's hard for me to say.
Drew. They are dude. Japanese wrestling is it's lousy with some gay stuff from time to time. And I don't mean there's a lot of that. Like there's a lot of ooh, his butt came out. Tee hee hee hee. Shit like that.
So do you know that Ronald McDonald? I didn't know. I don't think I've ever got huge over there.
I don't know that I've ever seen that one, but almost every time I see some, there's so many versions of what you just said where I'm like, I didn't even expect this when you said, hey, look at this wild kind of gay Japanese shit. They just fucking, And it's weird too, because like I watch a bunch of old Japanese stuff, and why a lot of people really used to like it is because there for a while, Japanese wrestling did like none of that shit. Like when the WWE was getting into like Kane and the Undertaker, and like the storylines were getting like, oh, he's dead. This guy's dead, but he came back to life. The Japanese were still doing just like, this guy's bad, this guy's good, this guy's, like they'd have a cowboy and stuff, but it was still more like realistic. And there for a while, like Japanese fans, was like very like, they would sit there super serious, and then they would like clap when they were supposed to. But they didn't go insane like redneck Americans did. But I don't know what it was. There was like a huge tonal shift where they were just like, all right, everybody's gay now. We're going to do a bunch of gay stuff, and butts are coming out, and it's just going to be real, real wild. There's motherfuckers over there constantly fighting invisible people. You know what I mean? Like, it'll just be one dude shows up to the ring, and like, it looks like he's whooping his own ass, like that liar thing. So, I mean, yeah, it does hit.
Miming.
Miming stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Has anyone ever been butt fucked by an invisible dick?
In wrestling, I'm honestly not 100% sure. Like, there was this dude a while back named Joey Ryan, and I don't really know all the details, but there was some Me Too shit going on. And after I tell you about what I'm about to say, you'll be like, no shit. His whole gimmick was that he would be in the ring and he'd be wrestling normal, but then his finisher was he would somehow, through the power of his dick, convince his opponent to grab his dick, and then when they grabbed his dick, he would like and he would spin them around with his dick, and he would just be whooping their ass with his dick. But like, the whole thing is like, they would be like, I don't want to touch his dick. And then all of a sudden they can't help it because his dick was so magnetic.
Right.
And I don't know this 100%, but I do think that like he was wrestling a lot over in Japan, and like he came up with that thing, and then he brought it back over here.
That is hilarious. It would be funny, but also very fucked up. I'm not advocating anybody do this, but it would be kind of funny if somebody made a clip reel of those things like that we just talked about over in Japan and stuff, and they tweeted it with the word with the title "Wrestling is gay," like
like a parody of NFL.
And they play this like triumphant, epic music over these clips of Ronald McDonald grabbing dicks and all. Well,
you've given me an idea, for how to spend my afternoon.
Trey, can I ask? I didn't see it either. The Ronald McDonald reference, is that you trying to let us know what he looked like, or did this man dress like Ronald McDonald?
I mean, it was literally straight up,
so much better.
1-to-1 Ronald McDonald. Like,
that
no
rules.
doubt about it. I don't know. Like, again, it was obviously all in Japanese. I don't know I don't know how that relates to his gimmick, if it does at all. I don't know. I saw 1 2-minute clip of this guy, but no, I'm not saying like a Ronald McDonald type of motherfucker. Like,
it was just Ronald McDonald
dressed up straight up as Ronald McDonald.
I bet they got
McDonald's fame.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know, because this was Japan and not China, and I know I've always heard about China when it comes to like IP stuff like that everybody just scoffs at it.
They just do
like
stuff.
China does it all the time, and they're like, they stole our shit or whatever, and then people are just like, yeah, well,
come over here and say it to our face, right?
Because they're not gonna they're not gonna do a goddamn thing.
That is a weird thing. Like,
you could kiss their ass.
That is a weird thing. Like how does copyright, like you copyright something over here? Well, how does that work internationally? Because like, I got to be honest with you.
On the country, I think.
I got to be honest.
Yeah, and like China don't fuck with it.
Yeah, no, but I got to be honest with you. Like if I saw somebody over in China, not just a Chinese person, but like somebody over in China doing pretty much exactly the buttercream dream and calling it the buttercream dream, I don't even think it would cross my mind to be mad. I'd just be like, well, that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's an homage, like whatever, like they're in China. What am I supposed to do?
The way I first found out about this, and I've told y'all that y'all were there when this happened, and I've told the story on the podcast too, but it's been a long time, and it is kind of wild, not that big of a deal. But the reason I ever looked any of this up was because when my sons were babies, for a while, Katie was like cloth diapering them and making like sewing like custom cloth diapers.
Did that hit for you?
Selling them for, it was fine, dude. A diaper's a fucking diaper, and they did look cool. They looked, they're trash babies because they're mine, and so like they looked a little less trashy than with that just naked with Pampers running around. That's the official attire of a trailer baby, So like this was more like little It was like a little outfit, but a diaper. You know, Katie was really good at that, as she is at most of those crafty things. And she was selling them to other moms and stuff. She had a Facebook page where she'd post pictures of the boys in her homemade cloth diapers and shit all the time. And there was this picture of Bishop when he's like 13, 14 months old. So he's like a brand new toddler, can barely walk. And he's wearing this homemade cloth diaper. And she's like holding his little hand. And it's really good, high quality picture. That was on her Facebook page like 6 months later or something. One of the women in a cloth diapering group on Facebook was trying to order cloth diapers from China because they're cheaper, like everything is. And she found the biggest cloth diaper manufacturer in China, right? Like the fucking Pampers of China, like a big company over there that sells cloth diapers. And she was on their website and they were advertising one of their lines of cloth diapers with pictures of Bishop, of my son, on their Chinese website. And she saw it and sent it to Katie. She's like, is this your baby? And Katie was like, look at this shit. We're like, holy, like, you know, like literally it's the exact picture. You know, like they didn't Photoshop Bishop's head on the little Chinese baby sitting in a basket or something. It's literally just the whole pictures, right? Like, no doubt about it. And that was really wild. And at first I felt just like, it felt
creepy.
It is invasive. Yeah,
it's
right.
Creepy,
like at first I was like, what the fuck, man? You know, like that's my baby. That shit ain't cool. I didn't like it, obviously. But I talked to Drew about it and also just looked it up some myself. And the immediate and general consensus was like, yeah, well, just get over it. Pretend it never happened, because there ain't a goddamn thing you can do about that. They will tell you, they won't tell you anything, but metaphorically, they'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
Right.
And you're shit out of luck. So that was the end of that. But yeah, my oldest was briefly a Chinese diaper model. So that's cool.
Well, what's
I feel
wild
like my
about
career's
that,
heading there.
Yeah, I can see it.
What's wild about that from the perspective of like international relations is if you stole something from Sony Chinese, right? Or are they Japanese?
Japanese.
Was a Chinese company.
All the rest of them?
Huawei.
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 So if you stole some of their technology here, they are registered as an American company, or they have an American subsidiary that pays American taxes. That company would come after you,
right,
and win. But the Chinese government technically on paper owns really all their companies, or is allowed to, just can take it if they want. So really in their mind, you would be suing the Chinese government if you came after that diaper company. So it's just wild to me that our government will prevent you from stealing from Huawei, Trey.
Yeah.
But there ain't nothing that can be done about them stealing from you.
Yeah, no. And God, I'm going to sound like a dick here, because do y'all remember? God damn it. Way early on in the podcast, remember we had Kurt Metzger on? I don't even remember if that. Yeah.
We didn't put it out.
Because the audio was so bad because we're so shitty. Yeah. That's how early in the process it was. That same night we interviewed that comic that was on the road with him.
Yep.
Yes.
What was his name?
Rich. Nick.
Nick?
Nope.
No, it wasn't Nick.
Bryson.
No, it wasn't Bryson.
Turner Sparks.
There you go. Thank you, Corey.
Well, I was going to
get there.
Bryson Turner Sparks.
Do you remember the story that he told?
Like, I knew him. Yeah.
He was. So, yeah, since we never put those out, the listeners have no idea what we're talking about. This guy's a comedian who went to China, and sort of while he was in China, he's kind of started a stand-up comedy scene for expats and stuff over there. But also to make money, he brought, was it ice cream trucks? Is that what it was? It was something like that. I think it was ice cream trucks. He noticed they didn't really have, the concept of like ice cream trucks didn't exist in the part of China he was in. And he was like, well, ice cream trucks it. So he like started ice cream trucks, and they were a big hit immediately in that region. He got more and more of them. He ended up having like a fleet of ice cream trucks, and like his own ice cream truck company was doing really well. And the Chinese government just took it. Like, because it was joy. They literally just took the whole thing, and they just took it and they operated it. Like they didn't shut it down. They were like, hey, that's ours now.
That's us now.
You have nothing to do with it. They didn't pay him. They just took it, told him to go fuck himself. And you can't, what can you do? Literally,
that don't hit.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it's just wild.
And that's what the goddamn Democrats want to do over here. You see, they want to take all our goddamn ice cream stores and give them to Joe Biden so that he can sit there in his white van and lure little babies to a goddamn pizza shop. You starting to connect the dots now, Trey?
I am. I'm waking up Finally.
you fucking tell Smart Mark all your goddamn y'all on your propaganda show. Not, clearly, you don't know. You know what I mean? Like you're not seeing.
And if you want to stay asleep, please go to an Helix mattress.
There you go.
Don't wake up with Helix.
Have your last meal at Freshly, and then call your senator on a goddamn Mint mobile phone if you know what's good for you.
All right. Well, I have one other thing.
Okay. Okay. Go
It's
ahead.
silly. I don't know how much mileage we get out of this, if at all, but we're coming down the home stretch now. I just found this interesting. When I found out, maybe common knowledge, maybe everybody knows this, but those like those classic, beautiful statues, antiquities and stuff, like Greek statues, like fucking David and.
Are you about to
Venus
talk
de
about how they
Milo.
used to be colored?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they used. That sounds
Yeah,
wild.
But literally, they were.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I saw that
Those
the other
statues,
day.
It's so wild because like they've always just been pure, like
Marble.
beautiful, shining white marble, and it seems to fit them so perfectly to us.
Yeah.
Like, it is impressive. But apparently, all of those statues, when they were made, were like very gaudily painted, with
Yeah.
bright colors,
Panama
and shit
City
like that. And the Great Pyramids of Giza,
Yeah.
were solid white.
Yeah, they
with
were like
gold
blinding. Like when the sun
capstones.
hit them, they
were,
would
like,
blind
blinding
you.
to look at from the horizon. Yeah, stuff like that. The Easter Island statue, they have bodies under the ground. They're not just giant heads. Like, that's just wild to me.
The
I have nothing
Roman.
else
I saw those like the other day. I saw like the statue of the thinker and David and stuff like that. Like, I mean, yeah, I get that when you're used to seeing it one way for your whole life, like they do look gaudy, but like, I mean, it's still pretty fucking rad the way that they said that they probably looked, or whatever. Right. But like that, it is so crazy that like, it's one of those things where like, here's what we meant for it to be. And then time happened, but time actually made it better. Like, time stripped away what we meant. And now it's like, because to me, it's like inarguably just it being the solid one color marble. I'm like, that's what it always should be. And that's amazing.
Right. It's also an example of, and I think we talked about this on the show before, this other example of this, where it's like, we don't really
know shit about the
we
past.
don't really know. Yeah. Like
we don't know shit.
We have this perception that like we have a good understanding of certain aspects of like ancient human culture, whatever, but we don't really know shit because of things like that. But also there's this, I think I brought this up before.
Like Napoleon wasn't even short.
Those like ancient fertility goddesses, those little statues with like the big swollen titties and stuff. And they were like, they used to worship these fertility goddesses in hopes of, healthy children and things like that. That's the narrative on those.
Yeah.
There's a lot of archaeologists who think now, like,
they just jacking
those
off
might just be early porn,
right?
Like that might have been their version of porn. They were just carving titties because that's what like DJ's old joke, jerking off with some mud titties or whatever.
But they found them in like temples, didn't they?
Well, they say they're temples. That's another thing. That could have
like, it's just a porno store,
porn repositories,
fucking whatever. They don't know. We don't know. Like that's the things. Like we look.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I think, I'm not saying that I believe that to be true. I'm just saying the idea that we don't really know any of that shit is easy for me to believe, like, the like bathrooms and shit, you know what I mean? Like, like how would that look in the future to other people?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
Also
our bathrooms now, if they're like different in the future or whatever, or, you know what I mean? Like with the mirrors and all the shit, and there's like a fucking, I don't know. It seems like
the way we look at our houses, they're definitely going to look at our shit the same way.
Right.
Yeah. How do we know? And I'm not saying I don't believe it. I just want to know how we know they used to be painted.
Probably somebody found it in a record. Like,
well,
it was probably old scribes.
I'll tell you this.
Like, this one used to be red, or I painted this one red.
I read that a while back, but then kind of forgot about it. And I got reminded of it yesterday because there was a post on Reddit that was a room full of terracotta warriors in China, that was like recently unearthed. This may have been an old picture, but whenever the picture was taken, this vault, this ancient tomb had just been opened. So it had been like vacuum sealed, and these terracotta warriors were like brightly painted. Yeah. And they said that like within a day or two of the tomb being opened,
they started fading,
that the paint chipped and faded and fell off, and they were just regular gray like everybody pictures. I'm not saying that's how we know that something similar happened with one of those like Hellenic statues or whatever, but like maybe it was something like that. I don't know, but I know that happened with those statues, just as one example.
I mean, it makes sense to me. I too like a better marble.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting screamed at.
Who are you got your nieces and nephews and such with you?
Yeah, they needed me to come take over.
Were
I
you
was
at
like,
the playground?
I was like, I'll be done by 4, and then we started a little late. And I'm like, well, I'll just walk over there.
Oh, well, it's okay. I want to just wrap this thing up by saying that, the past is wild, but the future is where we're going to be on tour. WellREDComedy.com, WELLRED comedy.com. As I said, there's only like single tickets available for Atlanta right now, which is super awesome. If I had to guess, we'll probably have another show, but I don't know. Birmingham's going to be our first stop. I'm super excited. We just booked Denver. We're booking things literally every day. So if you don't see it on the website, that doesn't mean we're not coming. We literally may have just signed a contract. So keep your ear to the ground, subscribe to the newsletter there. And it's about high time we get back on the road, and I'm super pumped.
Yeah, hell yeah, can't wait. Let's do it. All right, well, thank y'all for listening to the
Oh yeah, you want to do it? You do it.
I ain't doing it.
Thank you all for listening to the Well Red Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and ski.
Pass don't hit.
Pass don't hit.
All right. See y'all.
See you. Bye.
They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much, but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.